Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Punaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadidamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Namaste and welcome to the Spiritual Wealth Podcast. I'm your host, Alexandra Savithri, Director of the American Reiki Academy and the Vedic Healing Center. I'm a Reiki Master, Vedic Healing Master, and Spiritual Life Coach who has practiced and taught spiritual self-development and healing for more than 35 years, led pilgrimages to India, and studied with blessed Indian gurus. In this show, we cover topics related to metaphysics, Reiki, Vedic healing, yoga, manifestation, mantra, spiritual growth, and feng shui based upon my studies and work in these disciplines. The aim of this show is to help you awaken, develop, and tap into your spiritual power in order for you to manifest love, happiness, success, well-being, peace, and productivity so you may blossom into the highest expression of you. So welcome to today's episode, which is entitled Jumping Timelines, the Hidden Science of Instant Manifestation. So have you ever felt like you're living the same patterns again and again, the same emotions, situations, and even you keep attracting the same kinds of people? And then out of nowhere, something shifts. You make a new decision, you surrender something, or you see yourself differently, and suddenly it's like your world just rearranges and you start manifesting different experiences. So this is what I call jumping timelines. It's basically when your energy field moves into alignment with a higher version of yourself, something you have wanted, and your reality in the present time begins to reflect it instantly. So I've experienced this countless times in my own life, especially when I'm working strongly with my spiritual practices. And if you've been following me, then you know this includes a whole myriad of techniques such as Reiki, mantra, deep meditation, rituals, and feng shui, amongst some of the modalities. So once you start to work with energetics, it's like you develop a whole toolkit of different processes that you use to start to calm and heal your nervous system and your being so that you can start manifest differently. So today I want to share with you how you can consciously jump timelines to manifest the reality that you desire. And here's the interesting thing. That reality is already waiting for you. So let's talk about how to do this without force or fear, because both of those energies will block you from really manifesting your dreams. So first, let's talk about what a timeline is. I like to think of a timeline as an energetic stream. It's like a vibrational path, a trajectory that you're currently on. You're resonating with it. It feels comfortable. It feels familiar. So every thought, emotion, and action keeps you in a particular energetic frequency. So the fascinating thing is when your vibration changes through awareness, through healing, through spiritual practices, you naturally shift timelines. It's as if you don't have to create your reality from scratch. Instead, you tune into it like a radio station that's already broadcasting. So you simply move into another space where you're now resonating with something different. And that's really what jumping timelines is. That's a very fancy term. So in the Vedic tradition, we might call this a shift of Loka. Loka, L-O-K-A, means realm or plane of existence. It's not really a physical plane that I'm referring to. It's a state of consciousness. There are countless lokas, just as there are countless timelines, each representing a level of awareness and vibration. Think of these as kind of, I visualize them as currents in the atmosphere. So when you change your frequency, you literally inhabit a different pathway, a different loka, a different energetic reality. You may have heard me chant. There's a famous chant in Sanskrit that is very traditional that's offered. Lokaḥ Samastāḥ Sukhino Bhavantu. Or sometimes it's chanted, Sai Baba asked us actually to reverse the first two words. So you'll hear me chanting it. Samasta Lokaḥ Sukhino Bhavantu. And what that means is, may all the beings in all the worlds, in all the lokas, be blessed and happy. So we're acknowledging that there are all these different spheres of existence. So this is what timelines are. You had a timeline when you were broke, when you were depressed, when you didn't have love in your life, and that's a certain level where you were. And as soon as you manifested these things, you moved into a different awareness, a different consciousness, a different loka, a different timeline. So how we get stuck, I want to talk about this, because when you want to manifest something, you want to shift to a higher way of being, a different loka, a different path. But most of us get stuck on one timeline because we keep repeating the same energetic stories. We replay patterns from our childhood, karmic issues from our bloodlines. We replay fear, guilt, or the need to control outcomes. We keep trying to fix the outer world instead of working with the inner vibrations. And this is what we do in deep healing work. We start healing. We start clearing these issues so that we can easily move into the next timeline, into the next frequency of what we want to create. So as long as you're operating from old energy, from stuck energy, from patterns that you really desire to be free of, you end up choosing the same timeline again and again, just with maybe different faces and different scenery, but it ends up being the same patterns. So I want to tell you, you don't need to try harder. Instead, you need to change frequency. I'm going to give you a brief process for doing this, for changing your frequency so that you can jump timelines. You can move into the space where you are now vibrating differently, and therefore you start attracting on a different level. So the first piece of this process is awareness. Notice your current situation, your current vibration. What emotions or patterns do you keep repeating? For instance, if it has to do with money, maybe you keep draining your bank account, or you keep in a place of survival, or you keep thinking of yourself as being less than who you are, or you keep attracting, let's say it has to do with love, you keep attracting relationships that aren't honoring of you. So just notice these patterns. Don't fight them, just observe them, because you will know in your body when something doesn't feel good. You'll know, this is something I don't want to do anymore. I want this to change. And awareness alone begins the shift. So I don't know if you've ever had the experience of doing a transformational workshop. It's so much fun when we step into these kind of arenas. And often they say that the transformation begins when you make the decision to do that workshop. So let's say you sign up for it, and then you start to notice things in your life are changing, and you haven't even walked into the seminar yet. But it's like you have made the choice. You have created an awareness that something wants to shift in you. And so the universe starts moving things around in order for that to happen. So the second aspect is a frequency shift, an actual shift after the awareness. And what you will do for this is use a spiritual tool. It can be Reiki, it can be mantras, it can be breath, it can be tapping, it can be meditation to raise your frequency. So for me, chanting is very, very integral. It's very important for me because it's like magic. It instantly changes my frequency. Sending Reiki through the heart immediately recalibrates my field, because when you send Reiki, you open your energy field. And in an open and expanded state, you naturally attract differently. So your consciousness starts to expand when you do these spiritual tools. Your consciousness expands beyond your personal story where you are stuck. And that automatically lifts you to a higher timeline. And then the third component is now that you actually embody it. The key is to start acting from the new vibration immediately. Speak, decide, move, create as if the new reality has already landed. So we hear this all the time in manifestation circles. Let's say you want to manifest a more abundance. It is said that you must start to picture yourself as being abundant in whatever area of your life. Abundance doesn't necessarily mean money, by the way. Wealth doesn't necessarily mean money. You can have wealth and abundance of time, of health, of blessings in your life. So whatever you're envisioning as the new abundant state of you, you start to shift into that and act from that new vibration. So this means also a very, very conscious awareness of your thoughts. Would the new you be thinking these crummy old thoughts that the old you is used to thinking? No, the new you is expanded. She's confident. She is carrying herself differently. So start to act from the new vibration. And for women, sometimes one of the best things is to change your clothing. to start dressing in a different way, to start dressing in a way that signals the new you, that says, this is something I feel beautiful in. It makes me happy. And so it automatically raises your vibration and you begin to act from that new vibration. So clothing, color is excellent also. The colors of your clothing, the colors around you, bringing beauty into your space. So start bringing the new frequency into your space. It will help you, and that's what we do in feng shui too. We work with space so that we can start to utilize our space as a tool to help us get to the next level, to help us embody the new version of us. So when we work with Reiki or mantra or rituals or our space, we're not begging the universe for change. Instead, we're aligning with the version of ourselves who already lives in that frequency. It's less about kind of becoming and more about remembering. Often we talk about becoming the new version of us or stepping into the new reality, but it's actually about remembering the light that we are. Because when your energy lines up with the truth of who you are, your outer world has no choice but to rearrange itself. And that's when miracles happen, not because something out there changed, but because you did. I'm thinking right now of one of the mantras that I teach, and it's Gayatri mantra. Gayatri is said to be the highest mantra in Sanskrit. So that prayer, it's a prayer, it's a mantra, it is such a layered experience. But what it does is it causes you to remember the light that's within you and to merge with the grand light that is outside of us. So it's not so much that you're separate from this divine source, energy, light, God. It's a remembrance that you are a spark of that. And that's the same concept in manifestation and jumping timelines where, we exist in a timeline we maybe want to shift out of. We don't like what's going on right now. We want to change and create more. And the way to do that is to start remembering your light, remembering, recalling, resonating with your light again, merging with the light that is inside of you. And when that happens, everything beautiful starts to come towards you. So this week, notice what timeline you're living on. Ask yourself, am I acting from my past or from the future that I desire? And when you feel that subtle nudge to shift, just pause, breathe, chant, send Reiki, move something in your environment, and step into your new vibration. Because the moment that you do, the universe conspires to meet you there. I use that word a lot. It's like when you're putting out into the universe something that you want, and you start physically moving towards it without worrying about how it's going to happen, you start to vibrate differently. And that which you want actually starts coming to you. So there's the concept that like attracts like. If you are resonating down here with something you don't want, then you cannot attract what you want because you're out of alignment with that thing. But when you start to move into the same space as that thing that you want, you match its vibration, you meet the vibration, you become what's called a vibrational match for that thing. And then it happens. And it seems magical, but it isn't really. It's you jumping into a new timeline. But it's not really a jump, it's a merging. And it can be done softly, gently, and powerfully. So as we end, I just want to make that small distinction that often we talk about jumping timelines when we're talking about manifestation. And I even use that verb in the title of this episode. But actually, it doesn't have to be a leap, a jump. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic. It can be a very smooth movement into the new reality. And that's where the spiritual techniques that I have mentioned and I talk about a lot on this podcast come into play, because they help you move more effortlessly, more gently into the reality you would like to create. There's no need in life for anything forceful. We don't have to have anything happen in a violent way. That is an affront to our nervous systems. Why not instead softly but powerfully move into a new space? I think it is more easily done than we may know. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Om Sai Ram. Jai Guruji. Om Amrite Shwariye Namaha. Hare Krishna. Om Namah Shivaya.